Good people, welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we're so excited to have you again. President Muhammadu Buhari had promised that he would not be involved in anything called politics. He will allow the whole thing to run its course as expected. And it has proven itself as one of his well known aides has suffered a heavy defeat in his quest to become a House of Representative member. Also, in another breaking news, another PDP presidential aspirant has withdrawn from the PDP presidential race and he has given his reasons. We're going to be looking at these two news in a jiffy. But before we continue, if you've not subscribed to our channel, please do well to hit on our red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish our videos. Now, according to the news, the personal assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari on news media, Bashir Ahmed, has lost the All Progressive Congress APC ticket to represent the Gaya stroke Ajingi stroke Albasu constituency of Kano State in the House of Representatives. Ahmed, a member of the All Progressive Congress APC, contested against the lawmaker who currently represents the constituency in the House of Representatives, Mahmoud Gaya. The result announced on Friday night shows he pooled only 16 votes, while Gaya amassed 109. Wow, huge defeat there. Gaya had now secured the ruling party's ticket to seek a second term in the 2023 election. Ahmed left the venue of the primaries before the conclusion of the exercise. He then posted on his Facebook page and said, "As an aspirant, I left the venue of the primary election for Gaya, Ajingi, and Albasu federal constituency because of the security of our majority delegates. If you want to compete with the best, talks shouldn't be part of our election." And in another news, another PDP presidential aspirant has withdrawn from the PDP race. He's the former managing director and chief executive of SSB International Bank, Mohammed Hayatuddin. PDP National Convention to elect a 2023 presidential candidate out of the 15 aspirants is selected for today, being Saturday in Abuja. The foremost economist and banker, in a letter addressed to the PDP national chairman, Inyocha Ayu, said interacting with Nigerians from all walks of life had reinforced his resolve that Nigeria must be safe, otherwise the future is doomed. He lamented that for years he observed with great concern and sorrow the recent rapid deterioration of all aspects of Nigeria's national life, characterized by increasing poverty, religious intolerance, banditry and kidnapping, monumental oil theft, corruption, mismanagement of national asset, communal and religious strifes, and near collapse of public service and public institutions. Hayatuddin said he planned to ensure that the great potential that had become the hallmark of Nigeria's development paradigm should be actualized during his presidency. He alleged that the primary has been obscenely monetized. The renowned economist said he planned to make Nigeria the continental economic powerhouse which would guarantee high quality of life to most Nigerians. The foremost banker said his ambition was driven by passion and commitment to rescue Nigeria, which is on the verge of collapse. He said, "My exposure locally and internationally and contribution to the nation's economy and political well-being positioned me to take up the challenge facing our dear nation and the courage to participate in this grueling exercise, which most of our elites have shone away from. Regrettably, the political system has proved to be acrimonious, corrupt, and self-serving. I joined the contest as a Democrat with an open mind to keenly contest and accept the result of a process that is fair, credible, and transparent. We have endeavored to forge a consensus which would have facilitated a seamless emergence of a candidate which unfortunately could not be achieved. I wish to reiterate that I did not join party politics and to contest for the presidency because of personal gains and inordinate ambition, but to serve our country. It is therefore based on personal principles with great humility that I have decided after wide consultation to withdraw from these contests which has been obscenely monetized. Hayatuddin assured that as a very loyal party member and believer in the democratic process, he'll continue to avail himself and his teeming supporters at all times to ensure the victory of the People Democratic Party, PDP. Very interesting. Now, it's very glaring now. But first of all, let's look at the failure of one of Buhari's aides in becoming, a candidate. Now, some of the things we've been talking about on media, and everybody just said it doesn't exist. It's a lie. They are trying to bring down this government. They are trying to frustrate us. All of these things are not true. This is the right way to do it. This is the best president. This is the best this that we have had. Today, their eyes on the clear. Uh-huh. Their eyes on the clear because what goes around, whether you like it or not, it will always come around. You may think that it's only the poor masses that will experience corruption. But guess what? At one point, when you feel obliged, or feel responsible and you want to change the narrative of your country and you step out and you see the level of corruption, that is when your eye will clear. You now know that what the people were crying over the years about was actually real than the AU braid. Corruption and the issue of politics seems to be working like, they are five and six. I mean, they are just, let me say, they are five and six. Corruption and politics in Nigeria, they are strictly five and six. And that's why we can't have good hands. We can't have good hands in the country. Why? You see someone who have all it takes to change the narrative of this country in all respects. People who will go into the National Assembly and make good laws, by the time they venture and they see the level of thuggery, you say it's better I leave. It's better to run away when the war is tough so that you can live to fight another day. That is what just happened to Bashir Ahmed. We've been talking about this thing and everybody, seems to like, because you have a job and you sit in the office signing papers and talking about things on social media, you feel that everything is good enough. This is, this guy is actually the president's special aide. Now, President Buhari did not put his hand, because if the man has put his hand and say, oh, this is the president, he say, hey, I told you, the people see that I'm very competent. That is why they allow. Buhari said he's not putting his hand in anything. Go and try your luck. If your people love you, they'll take you. Now you are being exposed to the corrupt system. And there you go. Now you're complaining of thuggery. You're complaining of this. That is how it has always been. And we are going to feel more of it. This year is even worse than 2019. Look at what Jonathan said about it, that he has never seen this kind before. Everything is monetized. In other countries of the world, whenever it is monetized like this, or maybe it's a case of talks taking over, the military will come into fight. If you check our video, you're going to see the video. Jonathan talked expressively about what is obtainable in other countries of the world. I think one of the cases that he brought up was a case of Guinea, where the president wanted more years to stay in power. And before you know, military came in immediately. They said, it can't happen. They took over power from him. Why? Because of his greed. And unfortunately, the greed has gotten a deep hole on our politics. And having this deep hole, there's nothing anybody can do about it. All of us will feel it at one point or the other when we sit back in our seat and watch laggards take over our political position. There and then, maybe Nigeria will come to a point where we'll wake up and what happened during SARS will happen. Everybody will say, never again. We can't allow this to happen. And those so-called delegates who allow themselves to be used and all of that, what God will do to you people when you complain that the government is not good, that is, even your family record, they won't have space to write all of them. You have an opportunity to change the country's narrative, but what are you looking for? Money. You're looking for money. People who are not even qualified. Those are the people you are voting into power. Just why? Because they bring money. Lawmakers, from the National Assembly, lawmakers from House of Representatives, make laws that electoral laws that will make corruption to be very laws that strengthen corruption. Laws that strengthen corruption. Ordinarily, delegates should it be something that they have been fingerpicked and all of that. Elected delegates, where in the world have you seen that? They come in so that if the governor, they talk about elected delegate, all what the governor need to do in his state, he will now say, you vote for this person, say, yes, okay, you are coming in, you are coming in. The other person who have a contrary view, political ideology with the governor will not be selected. So they go in there and do their thing, and before you know, we keep on bringing in wrong stuffs. I never see anything. All of us in this country, and all those people who are currently in power and enjoying themselves, jumping up, and all of who test it. Now he has lost. Bashir Ahmed has lost. He will go back to presidency and be carrying his face around as a loser. You will clear. Our eyes will be clear. Not you have not seen Togri. See, we were clapping when it was happening. Nigerians are complaining instead of everybody to say, lawmakers, you guys must make laws to see how this thing can be favorable so that the right people can come in. Everybody were clapping for them. Say, this is the best government. This is big. Let's talk about this other guy. And it's the same thing that happened with this man. This is a banker of high repute, managing director. He has all it takes to help Nigeria out. If you listen to his manifesto, and you hear what the man said. These are people who have the people at heart. Their purpose of coming in was to change the narrative. Some time ago, some guys wrote to Tony Lumelu that he should feature in Nigerian politics. Why didn't the guy respond? Because of all of this. When you go in and see people who are very incapable, throwing money around, monetizing the whole system, the best thing is to quietly go back to your business and be running your business and allow Nigerians to keep on fooling themselves. Because I know time will come that the younger generation will say, enough of this. Look at what we have suffered. Nigeria is on the on the cake of gunpowder. And everyone, the only period Nigeria can be rescued is 2023. But yet, people who are not even qualified are the same people we are running around and trying to put them in lofty position. And then we'll come back home and say, things are so difficult to see corruption, see insecurity. You see this, see how the media is being oppressed and all of that. You never see something. If Nigerians don't wake up, I love what Jonathan said. Jonathan outrightly condemned everything. That this is not the system that will produce a reasonable president. The whole thing is messy.